over under 40. And you know what, Jeff? I'm going to keep it real with you. I still like this Bucks team to win the South. I just feel like when they play against teams in the division, they just know how to beat them. That's just really what it is. Even though they did lose to the Falcons last week, I just really feel like they know how to beat the teams in their division. And when it comes down to it, I think they'll be the best team in December. Um, and I truly do feel that Baker Mayfield is not doing that much to really impress us, but Baker's going to fight. He's going to compete. He's going to try to keep them in the game as much as possible. And this is a Baker type game where he can perform very well. But let's go ahead and give the Bucs their props. The Bucs have been a road dog in all their games and covered every single one of them. Every single one of them. And they just lost their first road game of the year against the Bills and almost beat them. So, that's something that you can tip your cap to. Now they get a game with the Texans to where they're going to have to lock it up on the defensive end. And I think the CJ Stroud hype train has kind of died down a little bit after the last few weeks because he threw a pick and, the games haven't went as well as you wanted them to go because they're not getting enough points on the board because he has the stats. But when you look at the points, they're still not scoring points. That's why a lot of these guys who have big passing stats in today's NFL, they're playing on some of the worst teams in the NFL as well, too, and they're not scoring any points because they're only getting those stats is because you're throwing the ball 40 to 50 times a game. You know what I mean? That's not as good as what we saw Burrow do in San Francisco, 28 for 32. You know what I mean? And you still throw for 300 yards. That's amazing. But when you go 39 for 53, you're supposed to throw for 400 yards. Why not? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking at. And I think that's what it truly much is that they have to make up for a very, very stagnant run game in Houston. And it makes it look like Houston's this big, potent passing team, but really they're not because the points will tell you that they're not. So pretty much where I'm going with this one is the Bucs have the better defense in this game. And this is going to be a defensive game. This is going to be an under as well, too. It's probably going to finish up like 13-10, Jeff, to be honest with you, or maybe 17-14, something of that nature. But all in all, though, the Bucs are going to win the game. So I'm going to take them with the plus 125. I truly don't feel that they need to be the dog here because when I did my opening line, I had the Bucs as a 2.5-point favorite in Houston. I don't think Houston has reserved the right yet to be a favorite this season.
I had the Panthers getting their first win. I was on with JB Sunday morning.
I was with you last week and I said that.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
The Vegas Scoreboard Express, and I was the only one out there, it seemed. I said the Panthers get their first win. Ugly, but they found a way to get it. And now they're just 2.5-point favorites. They're not 3.5. Vegas has given you the hint which side they like here. We bought the hook, took them up to 3 just in case. My true number was a 2 with a 38. It's up to 3 now with a 40. I think they get to 23. I like around a 23-17 Baker and company, not only to cover, but I think they get the win and stop the bleeding right here. And this is a perfect spot for the Bucs to get back into the win column.
All right, I like it. And I think you got a really good point with that one, Jeff. I think I really do respect that right there. And you know what? I really truly feel that when it comes down to it, that this Bucs team is going to be in the mix for that spot in the for the title because they already got the one up over the Saints. You know what I mean? I know they lost to Atlanta, but they're going to beat Atlanta when they go to Atlanta. That I already know that's going to happen. So pretty much, do you like what you see with this team? That's the whole thing. It's a veteran-led group. And you know what? They're an old school type team where, yeah, we got a lot of has-beens and guys that were supposed to be good in other places, but we're mixing up pretty good. And it shows how good of a coach Bowles is as well, too. You know what I mean? And it shows that the New York Jets don't have any patience because I truly do feel Bowles would have had the Jets probably the best team in the AFC East by this point if you would have just kept him as your coach. You know what I mean? But you gave him no shot. That's the biggest problem of what happened with him in New York. But yeah, it's crazy. I had the Bucks as a -3.5 favorite on my odds. So you know that literally they got the wrong favorite here, and I love when they got the wrong favorite. So let's move forward. Let's jump into our final game before we I'm trying to make sure I don't skip anything. But yes, we do have one more before we take another commercial break, and that's going to be this game right here. And you know what? It's just like it was last time. We got a very weird game with the Cards and the Browns. Their two teams are pretty much dealing with the same situation. They both have highly paid quarterbacks that are 50-50 on going today because from what I'm hearing, I follow Cleveland news exponentially. They're saying now that Deshaun's a 50-50. They'll know by Friday if he's playing. Same thing goes for Kyler. They'll know by Friday for sure if he's playing. But all indications are saying that Clayton Tune is going to be the quarterback Sunday because from what I'm hearing is that the Cardinals are not that interested in winning football games at this point. They want to be back. And that's why Josh Dobbs had to stop being the starter because Josh Dobbs wants to win football games. He wants to put out good tape because he has this idea he can be a starter in the NFL.